This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.
Welcome back. Unprecedented measures will be taken to address the long-standing flooding problems in the Bahamas, according to Minister of Works and Utilities Alfred Sears, which includes acquiring pumps for areas prone to flooding, drilling wells as deep as 600 feet, and particularly for the Pinewood Gardens subdivision, construction of water diversions mechanisms underneath the subdivision's park. Minister Sears also mentioned avoiding construction on wetland areas as a means to avoid future flooding issues.
In addition to these flood mitigation measures, we will be unveiling for consultation a land use, because we have to stop, and we will stop the construction, any further construction in very vulnerable areas, because that's part of the problem that we are trying now to rectify, is construction in areas which were previously wetland. And therefore, the land use policy will better guide the future development within New Providence and throughout the archipelago of the Bahamas.
When asked about current measures being taken, Minister Sears said several months ago they began to clean wells, with results already showing in some areas. He added that he will reveal plans for flooding mitigation during his budget contribution.
The flooding in Pinewood has not been as challenging as it has been previously. So very aggressively we have contractors as well as our team members in the different zones within New Providence. But, you know, this is not a Nassau-centric approach. We are responsible for the entire country, and therefore, as during my budget contribution, you will see that we have a number of major capital works being undertaken in Grand Bahama, in Abaco, in our Keys, in Moores Island, because from Dorian, some of the public infrastructure is yet to be restored.
Minister Sears said a number of studies into coastal erosion funded by the Inter-American Development Bank are currently in the pilot phase in Andros. He says it will be a baseline study looking into issues such as rising sea levels and global warming to better understand the changing climate conditions going forward,
so that we could better understand the natural phenomena and guide the development of our country, balancing responsible construction with preservation, so that we have a better equilibrium, and we put in place the kind of resilience to meet this current reality that we are faced with, which is global warming.
Earlier this week, National Emergency Management Agency, or NEMA, Director Captain Stephen Russell applauded Family Island Team's collaborative efforts in handling potential Tropical Cyclone 1, saying it is an indication of how the country's use of a comprehensive disaster management strategy can minimize potential impacts. The potential tropical cyclone was responsible for extensive flooding in low-lying areas and portions of northwestern Bahamas. Families of the 3 tourists who were found dead at Sandals Resort in Exuma last month are to receive the autopsy report before being released to the public, according to Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Michael Darville, who added that the pathology report has been completed and being forwarded to the coroner, who will report the findings to the family first.
The coroner is dealing directly with the United States Embassy to ensure that the proper protocol is in place for who is identified first. Once that's done, the coroner, along with the Commissioner of Police and the Royal Bahamas Police Force, will subsequently make the report public.
Last month, it was reported that carbon monoxide poisoning was the cause of death to the 3 U.S. tourists after samples extracted from the 3 victims were sent to a lab in Philadelphia, with the results being sent to the local pathologist. As it stands right now, anyone who has a private vehicle driver's license can qualify to drive huge commercial vehicles, from tractor trailers, dump trucks to cement trucks and garbage trucks. But in the very near future, that will be a thing of the past, as you will need to have a special license. We hear more in this next report. The government has endorsed the Motor Vehicle Training School, or the MVTS, that trains and certifies individuals who can then qualify to apply for a commercial driver's license from the Road Traffic Department. Chairman of the board at the MVTS, Ms. Ethelyn Davis, told us how the training and certification program was born back in 2016.
We saw the need for training of heavy-duty truck drivers and operators, as I've been in the industry for about 31 years. And we realized that almost every progressive nation in the world has commercial driver's licenses, and the Bahamas didn't. So we went about creating a program that will help train and certify drivers to receive a commercial driver's license once the Road Traffic Department decided that they'd want to go ahead with the commercial driver's license, as it was already on the books of the Road Traffic Department.
Those already working in the industry who drive tour buses, jitneys, tractor trailers, cement trucks, dump trucks, flatbeds, oil tankers, tow trucks, and more are encouraged to become certified even before the government makes it mandatory. The training course is based on an international curriculum and involves both a practical and theoretical session.
Should the student or the applicant pass the theory and the practical side of the course, they're then given a certificate that certifies that driver. They are commercially certified then for either a Class A, a Class B, or a Class C license. Once we send the certified records over to the department, the person would then present themselves to the Road Traffic Department. There are laws, requirements that must be met by the government agency now. So we're a private agency certifying their skills. The government now decides that this is what's needed in order for you to receive the actual license from the Road Traffic Department.
We understand the government has signed a memorandum of understanding with the Motor Vehicle Training School to train and certify drivers of commercial vehicles. Mrs. Davis noted that Prime Minister Philip Davis recently spoke about the need for commercial driver's licenses and how it will help the government.
What the Prime Minister did, he included in the new budget a new revenue stream, and that includes the issuance of the commercial driver's license.
Mrs. Davis says over 100 independent drivers and a number of companies are sending their employees to take advantage of the voluntary period. The Motor Vehicle Training School is located number 30 Claridge Road. And finally, the Bahamas Department of Corrections taking on 100 new trainee recruit officers on Monday. The trainees, who are expected to undergo 16 weeks of training in corrections, gathered for orientation with Minister of National Security Wayne Monroe, Acting Commissioner of Corrections Don Clare, and Deputy Commissioner Bernadette Thompson Murray in attendance. The minister, in addressing the trainee officers, said they were fortunate to be chosen from many applicants, while also noting that changes in the institution will begin with construction of a new high to medium facility and the introduction of a parole system. And that'll do it for your JCN Evening News. Once again, I'm Jarino Saunders. Thanks for joining us.
This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.